You're listening to the Zine Collector Podcast, Episode 21, the 2018 Wrap-Up. Hello, Zine friends. Welcome back to the Zine Collector, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm your host, Jaime Nyx, and the Zine Collector podcast is where I talk about all sorts of things zine. Now, today's episode is going to be a little bit different from the norm in that I won't really have the regular segments or anything. I think you can infer from the episode title what this is about, so I will just get into it. But I will talk about the last episode. In the last episode, we had the community episode, featuring zine makers from around the world. And I really can't thank Sober Bob, Yestin, Ladibule, Ken Bossart, and Worklitter Zines for taking part. I'm already excited about the next one, even though it's 9 episodes away. I love community episodes, but I'll be talking a bit more about that later. So I will stop the the gratitude train there temporarily for a moment. As I said, you may have inferred what this episode will be about from the title of it. Title of this episode. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. Oh goodness. If you want to know how tongue-tied I am and why I'm all a bit flustered, it's because I had my days wrong and I thought this was going to be an episode that went up on Christmas rather than Boxing Day, but here we are. Goodness. Moving right along. I think it's important to, and sorry if you heard that, I'm tapping my show notes on my hand. I think it's important to have a look back on the year sort of thing. This will be the first year that I do it on YouTube for the podcast, that sort of thing. But I like this time of the year. I like looking back and thinking about things and seeing how far I've come, seeing what worked, what didn't work, and starting really to plan on where I'd like to be in the next year. And plans, really work out as planned, at least in my experience, but I like planning nonetheless. And yes, I am a person who really likes the start of a new year. I am one of those people. So that's what this episode is going to be. It's a bit of remembering, a bit of observation as far as excuse me again, see, tongue-tied. Whatever observations I can make from the Zine Cave here in Australia. And this will also be a mixture sort of episode that includes a few plans and dreams for the year to come. So mostly plans. I do have dreams and whatnot, but yeah, most things, at least things that are starting in the near future, are planned. So at least that's something. So I wanted to start by going back to about this time last year, and the end of 2017 was rough for me in a lot of ways. I was struggling a lot with the loss of friendships after having moved interstate from Victoria to South Australia. I was struggling a lot with depression and the things that come along with that, and the side effects from trying to find a medication that works for me. No stigma here. Some people, we need medication. That's just what happens. So yes, side effects from things I was trying wasn't actually exactly helping how I was feeling. And to sum up how I was feeling, in a word, lost. Yet at the same time, I did have a bright spot, and I do have a bright spot in my life in the form of amazing, amazing friends. Now, when it comes to this podcast, I have a lot of people to thank, but the OG, if you will, person to thank is definitely my friend LP. She is the one who has not only been supportive, but also really excited with the whole concept of me doing a podcast from way back in 2014 when I first had a bit of a go on it. Now I think I have a little clip of the audio from that initial podcast tryout, if you will, that I can put right here.
Hello, this is Nyx from seagreenzines. That is SEA, not the letter C, if you are finding me here on Audio Boom for the first time. And just a side note, this place used to be called Audio Boo. So if I say boo instead of boom, you'll have to forgive me because I know it is Audio Boo, which I think was so much cuter. Anyway, I am having a go at Audio Boom, doing obviously a podcasty type thing to see if I want to continue doing a podcasty type thing. And I'm really friggin' nervous right now, and that's really weird because I'm actually just sitting in my home office talking to myself right now. Even my dogs don't want to be in here while I'm talking to myself. I don't know what this is about me. Anyway, moving on.
You can always tell that I'm nervous when I speak quickly. Even though I wasn't worrying about all the video stuff back when I made that clip, I was still pretty nervous at the prospect. So there is that bit of nostalgia for me. So as you may have guessed, I ended up putting off podcasting for a few more years for various reasons, technical and mostly to do with sound, affording a good mic and having a place that is quiet enough for podcasting, which I definitely didn't have in the house I used to live in. But everything was going on at the end of 2017, but there was one thing that kept me going with the podcast, and that is basically that I had promised LP and other people and myself that once I moved house and once I was settled in, I would start the podcast. And so that's what I did. I announced the podcast on January 8th, 2018.
Hello zine friends, I'm Jaime Nyx, your fluffy zine enthusiast from Australia, and I'm starting a podcast.
This podcast has really been a joy as well as a test of my nerves, at least very much in the beginning. Not that I was shy about sharing that fact whatsoever. For a long time when I started doing this series, every episode it was almost like a surprise for me. Oh my goodness, we're at episode 3. Oh my goodness, we're at episode 4. Over this year, what I'm calling season 1 of the podcast, we've covered a lot of different topics. 2018, the year of the Perzine, inspired me not only to encourage people, whatever their age, to make Perzines, because I think they're awesome, but also to cover topics like copyright and consent, things that are talked about in the zine community, but perhaps could be talked about more. I don't know. That's a personal preference, and also comes down to what your zine ethos is. But so they were a bit fact heavy, but I felt good to have covered those topics. I included a few top tips sorts of episodes because pretty much I love a list. I love lists. Lists are life. And while I'm sad that I wasn't able to finish the series, the Selling Your Zine Online series within the podcast has definitely been one that has received all positive feedback and more feedback than all other episodes, which has been absolutely brilliant and has helped me to keep going through all the facts and the figures and the searching through the terms and conditions for any catches and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate all the feedback on that. the episode, I believe it's episode 5, but I might be wrong because I'm pulling that out of my head rather than having the note in front of me. But my interview with Sober Bob is a special point for me in the podcast itself because it represents me taking, maybe not taking control of my fear, but pushing past my fear to create something good. I don't know about future interviews because phone and other communication related sort of stuff is still a big phobia for me. But at least now I know that I can do it. That episode will forever be there to show me that I can do it. I have done it. And that episode continues to be one of the most listened to episodes of all of them. So all the better. But I do have to say, and this will probably not come as any surprise, that the episodes that really bring me the most joy are the community episodes. Hearing, and in some cases seeing other zine makers talk about their zines and their thoughts on zines and just their thoughts on community and everything in between. It makes me so happy. It makes me even happier than I thought it would when I thought of the idea in the first place. I like chatting here in the Zine Cave in these episodes, but I think it's very valuable to bring other voices in whenever I can. And yeah, the community episodes, I'm doing them, I did it for the 10th episode, the 20th episode. I'm planning for the 30th, but honestly, if I could do community episodes every single time, I probably would, and then it wouldn't be just my podcast anymore now, would it? Either way, I really love the community podcast episodes, and I think they're absolutely brilliant, and I'm looking forward to expanding them in the future, getting even more people, more voices in and talking about zines and connecting with each other, which is maybe not always the goal. Maybe that's saying painting with too broad a stroke, but yeah, connecting is definitely a big part, at least for me, of making zines. So yes, 2018 was the year of the Perzine, and I was very, very happy to see how many people took this up and how many different ways they took it up. There were zine events that focused on Perzines. There were other zine events that gave priority to applicants who had Perzines. I had the pleasure of seeing and hearing about a lot of people's first zines, many of which were Perzines as well. Being able to see people's first zines and hold them in my hands has been absolutely brilliant, and to know that people are sharing their lives and giving peeks into their experiences in that way, it's just, I have felt the same way about Perzines since I first started reading zines, and I hope that feeling never goes away because I truly, truly love Perzines and what they are and what they can be. Moving on. If I may be so bold, yes, 2018 was definitely the year of the Perzine, but I almost feel like 2018 was also the rise of the zine reviewer. Awesome people from around the world have taken up the title of zine reviewer, and now you can find zine reviews on places like YouTube, Tumblr, other blogs, and even on Instagram. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I probably have said that 5 times already, but I really think it's brilliant that people are doing this, and they are sharing zines, and they are spreading the word, and they are spreading the good zine word. And I've seen so many people, and I can't see alternate timelines, so I can't say as to whether these people would have connected otherwise, but I'm seeing so many people connecting on social media, mostly Instagram, because I love Instagram and I spend a lot of time on Instagram. But yeah, it's really nice to see that people are connecting and finding each other and supporting each other through reviews. And it's lovely to see reviews through different sorts of mediums. Is that the word I'm trying to think of? It's lovely to see that, because I write out often long blog post reviews. Excuse my voice going. I write out long posts, usually long, sometimes very long posts for my reviews, and it's great to see videos where people are. I like videos. I like the medium of videos. I like pretty much everything to do about it, and I love that they are also being posted on places that they're usually they may not usually be on, like Tumblr and things like that, where the Tumblr is its own universe in and of itself. So it's lovely to see that zine reviews are making it around in there as well. And I like that even with videos, you have like longer YouTube videos, but then you have Craig of 5 o'clock zine reviews doing these 1 minute 1 minute videos, and I think it's brilliant. It's bite-sized zine reviews, and I may take my zine reviewing into the video realm, but that's something that's just simmering away on one of the back burners in my mind. So I think it's been a good year for zines, and it may just be my perspective, but I'm seeing and hearing from more people joining in zines, more people finding zines, more people taking the plunge and making their first zines. And I feel like it's really wonderful. I feel like it's not, I mean, I have the fuzzy la-las for zines. That's definitely true. But I feel like it's also very important, especially with everything that's going on. It's quite easy to feel the negatives that are happening in the world, and I feel like zines can be a way to counteract that, to express yourself, to feel like you have power, that your words have worth, that your words have space in the world. And I'm getting a bit into impassioned speech mode. But yeah, I think 2018's been good, and I'm really looking forward to 2019 and even 2020, just because I like saying 2020 for some reason. I've already discovered, and I'm really excited. So where do we go from here? As I mentioned, I really love the new year, and I love that feeling of a clean slate. It may be a bit cliche, but it motivates me. At the same time, though, I've had to sit down and remind myself that I don't have to have my entire life figured out before the stroke of midnight on December 31st. As much as I'd like to, I definitely don't have to. This is very important things for me. I do get caught up in thinking that things have to be a certain way, even though no one except me is telling me. What I can't speak to what's going to happen in the world or the zineverse or anything like that. All I can really speak to is what's happening in my little bubble within the zineverse. And I think for the most part, things will stay the same. Reviews Thursdays and Fridays. I would really, really, really love to do more reviews. I know that I've had a few zines for review coming in, and I know that people have been really absolutely wonderful, and thank you so much for being patient for the zine reviews. I am trying to get more organized so people only wait the minimum amount of time, but these things are these things. Speaking of things, as much as I want them to stay the same and get better, they may be a little bit different in the year to come. I want to promise you all the things. I want to promise you reviews as much as possible. I want to promise you that the podcast will happen more often and all sorts of things. But in the end, I've alluded to it. I've mentioned it casually, kind of here and there. But now more than ever, I need to focus on my health. I need to lower my stress levels. I need to work within my spoon allotment rather than thinking that I can just do all the things all the time constantly and I'm somehow some superhuman who doesn't experience burnout or something like that. I need to take things as they are rather than by the expectations I set for myself, which are often unreasonable, to be honest. So yes, I feel weird talking about it. I feel selfish talking about it. It's just one of those areas in my life that is a hang up, and I'll probably do a vlog about this at some point. So definitely check out the YouTube channel if you want to see vlogs and stuff. But yeah, it feels weird, but I have to say it, and I'm saying it here because yeah, you listening, you watching can maybe hold me accountable if you care to do so in regards to looking after my health this year, because like I said, I really need to, and I'm not very good at it. Not very good at looking after myself. So there we go. Now, moving on to more fun stuff. So all of that being said, the podcast will be back and kicking for season 2 in mid to late January. I don't have an exact date yet. There are things I want to change up for season 2, from the what's in the background for the video, maybe change up of music, that sort of thing. So if you have any suggestions for segment ideas, or yeah, pretty much just segment ideas. But yeah, I mean, if you want something different in the background, if you watch the videos, that sort of thing, I will do my best to accommodate. And yeah, so this is definitely time to let me know. I know that I did fall behind a bit with the fortnightly schedule, so I don't know if I'm going to keep trying to do fortnightly and just figure out my best. A lot of what happened was exhaustion and a lot of travel for doctor's appointments, and the appointments will keep happening at least until March. So I don't know if I want to say, well, we're back to fortnightly, or commit to it'll be once every 3 weeks, or anyway. And I apologize for the lack of solid consistency on that note. But as I said, stressing less and taking things as they are. I will also be continuing the Selling Your Zines online series, that sort of thing. So that will definitely be happening. I don't know that it will be picked up the next episode. A lot of the smaller content things are still in the air. Right now I'm just planning all the big picture stuff. And speaking of the big picture stuff, there are 2 things coming up in the near future that I'm very, very happy to tell you about. The first one is Festival of the Photocopier in Melbourne in February. And I have signed up, my friends. I have signed up for Festival of the Photocopier 2019, and I will be tabling. And yeah, I'd like to think I'm pretty cool. But the very exciting news, if you haven't heard it yet, is that the Alex Wreck of Stolen Sharpie Revolution will be at Festival of the Photocopier in Melbourne in February. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited on so many levels, and I'm going to probably be a little bit starstruck because if anybody's zine famous, Alex Reck is zine famous. And that's very, very exciting to me, the prospect of meeting Alex. Now, I feel a bit squiggly mentioning this, but I am actually raising money to get to Festival of the Photocopier. If you don't know, I am low income, and yeah, so if you like what I do, and maybe if you are going, might want to meet me in person, and if you're able, please consider checking the show notes. I will have the link to the GoFundMe there, where you can check out the page and see what's the what happening there. I really hate to even mention it, and I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry if me mentioning raising money to get to Festival of the Photocopier puts anyone off, but at some point, I just had to put away my pride and put up a GoFundMe, because it is literally the difference between going and not going. If I don't raise the funds to go, there are I don't have any other options. So yeah, this is my only option and my only way of getting there. So yes, I appreciate it if you do take a look. Thank you. Moving on. Slightly awkward. The second thing that I'm really excited about, and it is kind of related to the first thing, in that at Festival of the Photocopier, taking for granted that I will be able to go, I will be tabling as the seagreenzine distro. Yes, that is right. It's not live yet. It's not open yet, but there will be a seagreenzine distro online shop very soon, and I'm so excited. I'm just, I have been wading through different shipping options and prices and stuff like that for more time than I care to, than I really care to think about. But I'm so excited. I'm excited about being away from Etsy, having a place away from Etsy where I can sell things that I can't sell on Etsy. Like I can, where have I put it? I'm moving my head around because I can't quite. But yeah, I can sell my books there. I can sell tote bags and stickers and buttons and all sorts. And it's going to be absolutely a lot of work, but also lovely, because not only will I be able to share my stuff, I will be able to share what others are creating as well. I've already ordered, last month? Something like that. A while back, I ordered just a few things from a few people to start selling in the distro. So yes, I'm very excited, and yeah, it's a really big step, and I know it is, and I know it's going to be a lot of hard work. That's definitely a given, but I have been dreaming of starting a distro since I started with zines, really, since nearly the beginning. And maybe I shouldn't announce it before it's live, but we are talking about 2019 plans, and I'm really excited, and I'm so happy, and I love the idea of being able to be an Australian hub for people to be able to get local as well as international zines within Australia. That's always been, maybe not always, I don't know, I can't name the exact point, but that's been one of my goals when it comes to the distro, to be a point where you can get American zines and Japanese zines and European zines and all sorts. And I'm just, oh gosh, I'm really excited. I hope you're excited too. But on that note, I will start wrapping things up. And yeah, so here's to my first ever podcast, YouTube, website, etc. yearly wrap up. I wasn't exactly sure what to put in this wrap up. So if you have any suggestions for things that I've missed or should put in next year, definitely feel free to let me know. I'd like to wrap this show up by saying thank you. Someone once told me that saying thank you too much can take away the meaning of the words, the power of the words, the impact. I say thank you dozens and dozens of times every week on my Happy Mail Monday videos, but I can't help myself. I'm so utterly grateful and so lost for any other words that I can only really come back to the core of it. And for all you do, all you are, all of you, everything, thank you with all of my heart. I really thank you. I really don't know what to say other than thank you. And just to let you know how grateful I am that you listen, that you watch, that you subscribe, that you patron, that you are a patron or a follower on the Patreon site, or whatever. Even if we've never chatted, even if I don't know your name, and even if you prefer to be a lurker, which I totally get that. Thank you. Things can be hard, and they've definitely, the second half of 2018 has tested me in ways I did not expect and am still dealing with. But though I may complain, I still feel very lucky. I feel very lucky to be doing what I'm doing and to be supported by wonderful people who are sending me zines for review, who are liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I know that I'm not a good salesperson. I'm not. And it feels weird to be saying, like and subscribe and things. But yeah, so... Anyway, thank you. So I will say that is it for today. That is it for this episode. And that is it for 2018. Wonderful, wonderful friends. Remember that everything I say is just my opinion. There are no gatekeepers in the Zineverse, nor should there be. Links to things I've talked about will be in the description. Be sure to stop by seagreenzines.com, where I review zines every Thursday and Friday, including this Thursday and this Friday, and next Thursday and next Friday, even though we're in the holiday season. And now for the musical copyright goodness. The music for this podcast, Spanish Summer by Audionautics, is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution license. This is the Zine Collector. I'm your host, Jaime Nyx, and until next time, go make some zines and have a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful, and calm rest of 2018. Mwah! I have one regret for this episode, Zine friends. One regret. And that is that I don't have a noisemaker. I don't have a noisemaker to send out 2018, but that is not the... Oh my goodness. Happy New Year!